Hey everybody, welcome to the second part here of chapter 9.4 on big ideas, and today we're going to be looking at something called interquartile range. Now, the reason I laughed there a little bit is this is a really big word, interquartile range. We learned about range yesterday, but I don't want this word interquartile to scare you, because really what we're going to be doing, we're just going to be using the measure of median, which we have practiced before, to help figure this out. We're going to be using this a lot. So it's not too bad, but follow along. Make sure you have your journals out, because I'm going to prompt you with some journal notes that you should be writing. Let's get into it here. All right, so the first thing we should do is really understand what a quartile is. And you know, if you see this, this part of this word quart, or quarter, it should make you think of fourths. Okay, and that's basically what we're doing. We are splitting our data into fourths, all right? And so you can see here, what we have a set of data, and they've arranged it already in numerical order. It's kind of on a bit of a number line here. And what they did first is they found the median, all right? So the very middle number here, once they're all arranged numerically. And when we find the median, essentially what we're doing is we're taking our data and we're splitting it into halves, right? So we're splitting this data into two halves. We're going to get an upper half and we're going to get a lower half. All right, but this interquartile range, if we're going to split it into quartiles, we're going to take this a step further. So what quartiles are going to do is they are going to now take each one of these halves and we're going to split those in halves. So you can see here, our first quartile here, our lower half, has an odd number, has 5 data points in it here. So this is really easy. So we're going to just find the median of this one, which is the middle value, and they're already arranged in numerical order, so 22 here. And this is going to split this lower half now into 2 halves. All right, we're going to have this half right here and this half right here. These are our first quarters here, and this mean, or this median, I'm sorry, right in the middle right here, 22, this is going to be called the first quartile. All right, so it's basically the dividing line between the first quarter and the second quarter. It's called the first quartile, is this number. And then we're just going to do the same thing with the upper half here. And by doing that, we're going to find the third quartile, which is the median of this data right here. And that's going to give us our, oops, did that wrong there. It's going to give us our next 2 quarters here. Oops. Okay. So you can see now that we have our 4 quarters of our data here, our 4 quartiles, or 4 quarters of data. And our first and our third quartile are this number and this number. And these are the medians of these 2 halves, all right? So the interquartile range is going to be the range. We did range yesterday for the whole set of data, but now we're going to look at the range between just these 2 numbers right here, all right? And that's going to measure, just another way to measure variation between our data. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at this. All right, so this is where I'm not going to do a journal page on here, but I'm going to prompt you. I want you to, in your journals, find a new page. I want you to label it 9.4, and you can call it interquartile range, which is right here. So go ahead and label your journals. I want you to pause the video at all the places that you need to so you can write this stuff down. And I want you to, we're going to just go over the steps here, the different steps, all right? So our first step here, step 1, is going to be to make sure that the data, if it's not already, you need to order the data from least to greatest, all right? So we want to have our smallest number here and our largest number here. And a lot of these problems that might do that for you already, but if not, you need to make sure that you do that. All right, let's go on to step 2 here. And that's going to be to find the median, all right? So we can see here that that's what they did, all right? So they looked at their data right here, and they found the median of their data. Now, this is not going to be a video on how to find the median. Go back and look at that if you're not sure how to do it. But they came up with the median here of 247.5, and what that does, that's going to split, that's going to tell us where we split this data into 2 halves, all right? So step 2 is going to be to find the median of the data, which is right there. Okay, let's go on to step 3. And that is going to be to find the medians. Notice I underlined the S here because you're going to find 2 medians of the upper and the lower halves, all right? So you found the median for the first part for the whole set of data. Now we're going to go back and we're going to find the median again for each half. So we see we found the median right here, 235, which is right here. And we found, as for the lower half, and then we found the median for the upper half here, 255. All right, and these become Q1. So this median of the lower half is quartile 1, and the median of the upper half is called quartile 3. All right, so that's step 3. These are the two quartiles. We have all the information we need now to do step 4. And this step is a simple subtraction problem. You're going to subtract this first quartile from the third quartile. So basically you're finding the difference between these 2 points right here, these 2 quartiles. So in this case, the case of the example, what they're doing is they are taking the third quartile, which is, switch over to my pen here, 255, and they're subtracting from it 235. Okay, and this gave them an interquartile range of 20, which means that the range between these two numbers is 20 points or 20 values. All right, so that's how you find the interquartile range. That's going to be it for the video today. Your practice on this is literally going to be going and doing the math problems for the day today. There's only about, I think, maybe 4 problems that you need to do. But you can see that each problem has several steps here. Really, it's just finding the median. So you're basically, if there's an odd number of values, it's really easy. You just pick that middle number. But if there's an even number of values, you have to find the mean of those 2 middle values. Okay, go back and refresh yourself on how to find median from the last week or two to refresh yourself if you're having trouble here. Good luck. Make sure you wrote this in your journal. Come back and reference this video if you need to. And please, please, please ask questions. Have a good one, guys.